Good morning, everybody. I'm a little struggling here. I got this strap on my dress that wants to keep like falling off my shoulder. I don't know if you guys like run into those problems, but it's kind of tough when you've already got the dress on. Like, see, I'm trying to pull it. Okay, oh, got it. Okay. All right, so now we'll put it in. Hopefully it's taut enough so it won't fall off my shoulder. Oh, the problems we have to deal with. Well, good morning, everybody. You're watching Lynna's Life. Thank you for coming over to my channel today. I'm here sitting in a parking lot. I worked till like 2 in the morning yesterday, and it was really odd. Had a call from a McDonald's, and I went to go pick it up, and they said, we don't pick up DoorDash orders until like after midnight, so you're gonna have to cancel that order. And I'm like, I don't know, the customer might not be happy with canceling an order. So I contacted the customer and texted them and said, I'm sorry, McDonald's won't let me pick up your Big Mac meal. I mean, I could order it. It's the funny thing is I could order a Big Mac meal because the drive-thru's open. They're open 24/7. But for some reason, and the funny thing is, you could go across the lake, no, the river, and get it at the other McDonald's in East Wenatchee. Oh, got a phone call. That was, I don't know why I keep getting them, but I keep getting these calls for an extended warranty on my 2012 Fiat 500. I mean, I don't want to spend any more money on this car. You know, it's already a 2012. It has almost 100,000 miles on it. It's a great little commuter car, but I'm not looking to get an extended warranty and pay like $5,000 more for a car that's worth like $2,500. I'm sorry, but it's like I keep getting these robocalls. They're so annoying. Do you guys get these calls too? Because they're just annoying. Anyway, so I contacted the customer for the McDonald's order and told them that they weren't going to get their shake and that they weren't going to get their Big Mac meal. But I was going to try calling DoorDash to find out what could be done. Because, I mean, it could potentially be like back-to-back orders from McDonald's that would be there. And I would have to call each and every time to tell them about the special situation with that special snowflake McDonald's and their manager. But I contacted DoorDash and they told me, guess what? Every time it happens, well, you're gonna have to call. We're so sorry. We can't do anything about that. And customer support, ironically or not surprisingly, is out of, I think, India for DoorDash, Grubhub, for Uber Eats, for any of them, you know, Postmates, any of them. They all have like customer service over in India. So they're like, hello, this is Taryn. I have got your order and are you on a present delivery to, and I'm like, yeah, and I can't pick up at the local McDonald's. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. It's really too bad that I can't get. I'm like, okay, just let me know, you know. So anyway, but after that order, I went home. And then I came out here after getting a good night's rest. And I got up and came out here. And I'm just kind of sitting around on an order. It's like, to wait. So I just kind of stopped any messages from coming to me. I'm just sitting here. I was gonna go in the JCPenney right next door right here, but they don't open till 11. So I'm kind of stuck. And then I went to go check out, like, there's like a YWCA that has a really cool little thrift store there, and in Wenatchee, and it doesn't open up till 11:30. So what's a girl to do? She can't go shopping to take her mind off of things. I mean, I don't even know. I think Ulta's open, and Old Navy, I think, is open, but Old Navy tends to have the same things, and I was in Old Navy just a week ago. I remember going to Old Navy just to get their America, like 4th of July t-shirts and stuff. So here I sit, and I guess we can just talk, right? We can have a one-on-one. I wanted to specifically talk about something that my friend brought up on her channel that directly affects me, because I'm one of those trans women that had kids, you know. I'm one of those trans women that had a family and a family life and doting kids. Wonderful example of like a conservative Christian family, you know. We were like the epitome of that. I used to take my kids with me from the day they were born. I remember my youngest, I had a job working in New Orleans, and they were taking all the gear in a truck, and then my ex and I now, I think the baby was like 6 months old, and we went down there from Nashville and drove down to New Orleans, and I guess it was when they were having a hurricane something, I forget, not Katrina, because that was really bad, but it was before Katrina. Got down to Jackson, Mississippi, and we're gonna spend the night, and get a phone call from my director, and he says, the trip's off, the project's off, we're gonna have to postpone it, there's bad weather coming, and we're gonna have to like redo it at another time. We're gonna schedule, but we're gonna pay you guys for all your hard work that you were going to do. We're gonna pay you a percentage of it. And I was like, wow, cool. Oh, vacation, we're already packed, you know, we got everything. Oh, see, this one is having the same issue. Come on. It's like, stop falling off. Get up there. Stay up there. Don't come down. Now it's nice and snug and tight. I love clothes. You know, I missed not being able to wear clothes. I was wearing like tank tops and shorts and stuff, and I had no dresses in Arizona. So anyway, getting back to the story, I was in Jackson, and we didn't know what we were going to do, so we decided, you know, we're already out here, let's go for a ride, let's go for a drive. I had, at the time I had a Mazda MPV minivan, silver, totally not anything other than a soccer mom van, family van, you know. So we go driving. No, we didn't even have that. No, I just had the Saturn. Yeah, 4-door Saturn, traveling in the Saturn. Not the greatest with a baby. So anyway, baby's 6 months old, and we end up going on this 2-3 week journey trip of the like go to see Mount Rushmore, go to see like in-laws in Minnesota, and surprise brother and sister-in-law in South Dakota. And I was all about that. I was all about family. I was all about taking care of my family. And that's why I find it difficult to process how anyone can imagine. It still affects me. How anyone can imagine that, you know, we have a choice in doing what we do, that we have a choice in like transitioning or not, even if we have family. Like in my case, I had 5 kids and I lost them all. Lost them all. People keep saying, oh, they'll come back eventually, you know, they're just gonna, you know, learn and grow, and as they become adults, you know, they'll come back to you because, you know, you're their parent and everything. And then I hear what Justice was talking about on her channel, and she said, I mean, how do you explain this to your kids? You know, I mean, if you're gonna have kids, how would you explain it? You know, oh, your mommy, your other mommy. Oh wait, how do babies come from? Where do babies come from? Oh gee, oh, your mommy. Well, little Tommy, little tiny Tina, your other parent, your mom, other mom. Is it your other mom? Do you think of her as your other mom? She is actually not like mommy that birthed you. It gets so confusing, and I can understand where Justice is coming from with that. You know, I totally get it. You know, and you know, being a parent of 5 kids has really, you know, sometimes affected me in the ability of being a legitimate trans person. You know, people have said, well, if you're really, you know, if you were really trans, you wouldn't have had children. You wouldn't have, you know, I mean, you wouldn't have had, you know, 5 children. And all I have to say is that people don't know my lived experience. They might know theirs. They might know what they could have done or would have done or should have done. But yeah, you just don't know my lived experience. So I don't know how people can talk about things with regards to what they would do if they had kids. I would hope that you could avoid transitioning with children. It's not a good thing. I'm not going to say that it is. When it happened to me, I was in the middle of life. I had, get this, a 16-year-old son, my oldest, 14-year-old daughter in junior high, a 10-year-old son, an 8-year-old son, and a 4-year-old son. I was in the middle of life. I remember a year before I actually started hormones, I went to a place that, you know, it was like a place where men went in order to dress and stuff. There's a place down in Atlanta, or just outside Atlanta. And I remember sitting down with the woman that ran the place, and I actually spent like $200 to spend the night there. And yeah, it was a place that, you know, this makeup artist woman who was retired from doing Hollywood, she really had a heart for the cross-dressing slash trans community, and provided this service where she would have like a rack of clothing downstairs and then like a suite upstairs, and they had wigs and makeup and stuff that she would do your makeup and stuff like that. And then it was just a place where a lot of men would go just to get some relief and stress relief or something. I mean, some men dress in women's clothing in order to de-stress, I guess. So there were businessmen that do that, and she makes good money, right? Because these guys are willing to pay her, like I was, and I didn't tell my wife at the time, and basically went and kind of, I lied about it. I said that I did have a legitimate basketball game that I was going to do that Sunday down in Atlanta for the NBA, but on Saturday I had I needed to have a reason to go down there, and so I went down there under the guise of like going to watch an Atlanta Braves baseball game. I told her that I wanted to see the Braves play. She knew I was a baseball fan. I mean, one time we even took the family up, like the two kids, out to was Cincinnati? Yeah. Riverfront Stadium, Cincinnati, when the Mets had a 1-game playoff with the Reds. And I was crazy about the Mets. So I asked my wife at the time, what do you think? You want to just go on a crazy trip up to Cincinnati from Nashville? She was like, oh, that sounds like fun. Let's do it. So we did it and sat in the nosebleeds and stuff. But so I was using that same like excuse, right? Because I was a big baseball fan. Not so much anymore, but I was. So basically, I'm lying about stuff, and I get there, and it's like this little bungalow type place on a farm, ranch property. Kind of odd, kind of out of the way. So I'm covering things up as best as I can. I'm literally just not wanting to tell the truth about where I was going to be. I knew it was going to be disappointing for her and frustrating. So I go down there and get out of the car, and I think, yeah, I had dinner. She had dinner with me, sat with me, and she's like, normally I would go out on the town with you and maybe do some shopping or something at one of the local stores or whatever, but I'm not feeling very well. Is it okay if we just stay in, and I'll do your makeup and stuff, and, I was like, okay, sure, so I have like literally, that was my outlet for expression. At the time, I wasn't really online much. I didn't really have that many friends like that, and I didn't know how many people did what I did or felt like I felt. I just thought I was alone and everything. And I remember sitting with her in the morning after spending the night, and she talks to me like as I'm checking out, and I say, I have 5 kids. And she goes, I know, honey. It is probably not the best idea to transition if you have 5 kids. And I was like, I know, it's not. It's not. It's terrible. It breaks their hearts. It hurts. they I see them occasionally in pictures, like whenever I can sneak a view, and the joy is gone. The joy is just not there. I used to take pictures of my kids and they were like smiling ear to ear, grinning, laughing. Take them to the water park, and they loved the water park. They thoroughly enjoyed the water park. And it was a family thing. We used to go to the water parks. We used to get these discounts, and whether it was in the Wisconsin Dells or up in Bemidji, in Minnesota, or Minneapolis had one by the Mall of America. That was our thing. Great Wolf Lodge, getting pizza, kids playing like on the little interactive course there over in the Dells, if you know where I'm talking about. The Dells is like the water park capital of the world, they call themselves. They have indoor and outdoor parks. I always went to the indoor parks in the wintertime, and because that's when you had a good deal, right? So I was always looking for a good deal. So anyway, yeah, she says, yeah, honey, I really wouldn't recommend you transitioning if you do have feelings. What do you think? Do you think that you can just manage your need to express yourself by just, coming out here occasionally? I have many men who come out here, and they're on the phone with their wives, and their wives understand, and they know that it's a place that, and it's like, I'm just not that kind of a person. Just not. I was like, it sounds foreign to me. I'm not here to dress and to that's why I don't like the whole AGP accusations and stuff that people have labeled on me, because this was never about any kind of sexual gratification of any kind or anything remotely like that. It's far deeper. Far deeper. And if people don't want to, understand it, it's their problem. I mean, it's not mine. I know that I'm a sane person and that I have my mental capacities with me, although I lost them after the accident a bit. I do admit that. But I was pretty sane, I just suffered with a tremendous amount of dysphoria. Something that people say is common to everyone. As if dysphoria is just a simple, I don't like my nose. Oh, I don't like my nose. Maybe I can change it. Or I wake up and I don't like my nose. Or I wake up and I don't like my hands. Or I don't know. It's not. That's not what gender dysphoria is. Gender dysphoria is a massive sense of an inability to process being in a body that you don't feel fits you, in living out in a role in life that doesn't suit the person that you really are. Because the person that you really are is that person that's within you, that is you. I mean, as Justice says, I don't do that whole, hello, hi everybody. It's it's like that squeaky voice and stuff, and I'm not going to be in my girl voice today. I mean, when Justice said that about being in that meeting and that person saying, that they didn't want to use their girl voice and that they were using their grovelly bad voice, right? They were using that one. It was like, who are you? what are you doing? I mean, you and I obviously are not on the same page with regards to why we do what we do or who we are, because there isn't anything going on with regards to like wanting to fake a voice. I mean, it's like, I don't know. I don't understand it personally. You know, I don't. And I can understand where Justice is coming from with that regard. You know, it's like Justice has a beautiful, beautiful timbre to her voice, and you know, it's sultry. It's kind of like, what's her name? Scarlett Johansson, you know, sexy kind of voice that way. And I just think that it's just important to be genuine. I mean, if this is genuinely who you are, right? I remember talking to a friend that had been following me on YouTube, and they were transitioning in Kentucky. Her name was Rachel, I think. And Rachel was like, "You want to hear my man voice?" I'm like, "What?" You know, my lower range that I have, you know, because, you know, I have to like go up in the register in order to talk. I'm like, oh, okay. And then he dropped it down to a couple octaves down. And he's like, "This is where I feel comfortable." I was like, oh my God. What did you just do? What was that? He goes, "That's my man voice." I go, "Oh, let's hear yours." I go, "Well, hi, my name is Lynna. Hello, everybody." It's like, no different. No different. The same. The same. It's not a game. That's why I want to go back to the whole concept of like why we do what we do and how much pain is involved. How much pain is involved in losing your treasures. Because I wasn't going to be that transparent, you know, the one that waits for their kid after school and honks at them and says, "Hey honey, how are you? Come on over, I'm here." And then everybody at the schoolyard is looking at the freak and going, "Dude, is that your dad?" Yeah. Mom and I and my sister are hoping that like he would like, you know, get past it or something, and kind of hope it's a phase that he's going through. But sure Dad, sure Mom, I'll be right there. It's like, oh my God, no. Hell to the no. I couldn't imagine embarrassing my kids that way. So I was in a quandary. I was in quite the dilemma, quite the conundrum. I was between a rock and a hard place. And see, the better thing to have done would have been not to transition at 43 after having 5 kids. I was told that too. My friend Frankie, my friend John, they were like, "Dude, can't you just wait like until the kids get older and they're out of the house, and you know, you're like 55, 60 or something, and then you're not gonna like, you know, affect other people?" And I'm like, gosh guys, if it was that simple that you could just dial in a transition to whatever time period you felt like transitioning, I mean, what? I mean, then if you could do that, then, you know, life would be grand. You know, you could just like schedule the moment and make it happen. But to be honest with you, my transition in 2013, 8 years ago now, I guess, was an act of self-preservation. Because if I hadn't had done what I did, I wouldn't be here today talking to any of you. I would have been a distant memory because my life was spiraling. My dysphoria was through the roof. I was distraught. I was just not available. Not available to anyone. I was like, I felt like a prisoner of war underneath a very shoddy looking prison cell underneath the ground, sort of like a POW during Vietnam or something, where you can see out above you, but it's only sky and bars, and you can't see anything else other than that. And so I did what I had to do, and I can't speak for anyone else. I really can't. And my heart goes out to anyone who goes through this, anyone who decides to do this. It's like, at 43, it's gonna be damaging. The plane is gonna crash, and it's gonna leave all kinds of casualties everywhere. It's like, it's tough. But if you haven't lived this experience, if you haven't had kids, and you just have your thoughts, about what you would do in a hypothetical situation in which you had children, it's much easier to make that decision to not transition when you haven't really faced the music and that pressure. It's not easy, everybody. It's not. I don't recommend it either. I don't. Am I hopeful that one day, someday, I'll be able to reconnect with my kids? Sure, I would love that. But with all the scars left behind from this very unique and destructive chapter, of my life, I won't hold my breath. Let's just put it that way. Because like Justice said, kids wanted a dad, and what do they have, right? And no kid should have to go through that. No kid should have to say, well, my dad became a woman and now doesn't live with us. Of course they don't say that because it's embarrassing as all hell could be, right? Nothing's more disgraceful to a young boy than to say, my manly dad is now a woman. imagine that any of them would ever say anything. They probably keep it as their own secret. It's like, yeah, my dad's not around because he left. He died, I could say. No easy answers, everybody. That's the problem. There's just no easy answer. But yeah, I can understand where justice would say, oh hell no, I would never do that to my kids. I love them too much. I would not transition that. I would just think of it like, okay, well, it's not possible. I'll do something different. But see, when you're faced with a tremendous amount of gender dysphoria that makes it so you can't even walk, you can't even leave your room, you're like in such psychological pain and emotional mental anguish that you can't even function, where you don't even want to roll out of bed, and when you do, you wish the sun would come down and end it for you. When you get to that point and you have kids, then you can ask me what you would do, or tell me what you would do, because yeah, it would have been great not to have had the kids go through what they've gone through. Nobody would want that. No one would. But that's what happens. There just is no easy answer.